Well, surprisingly, me and somebody who commented on one of the videos, we actually agree. They suggested I do a video of a Barack Obama clip, and so I figure maybe I'll do this to his weekly radio address or to something anyway. So anyway, here we go.
No one bill, no matter how comprehensive, can cure what ails our economy. So just as we jumpstart job creation, we must also ensure that markets are stable, credit is flowing, and families can stay in their homes.
Yeah, how are you going to do any of that? Credit is flowing. That's the one I love, because they keep talking about a credit crisis, like somehow credit is the problem. And it's not the problem. The problem is debt. Okay? It's a debt crisis. And instead of saying what he should say and just being honest about it, yeah, we're bankrupt, okay? Yeah, we spent too much money, we borrowed money, we had fake growth as an economy. That created more money, the more fake growth, more money, more fake growth, and so all this growth was uncollateralized. It was all made out of borrowed money, essentially. And so the game is over, okay? The credit card bill is now due. We've been pretending it didn't exist. We've been paying less than the minimum payment. All right, and now it's just piled up, and it's over. The game is over, and now the decision is going to be is who gets fucked. All right, and that's what he should be talking about. Who is he going to fuck? Is he going to fuck the richest people in the world, or is he going to fuck the poor people? And you know, the answers, we've been given the answer. They're going to protect the rich. He's not going to explain why they had to raise deposit insurance to $250,000. Well, I guess that protects the rich. All the bailout bills so far, the last one and this one, most of this money is not going to go to poor people.
Last year, Congress passed a plan to rescue the financial system. While the package helped avoid a financial collapse...
Hey, I know it didn't. It put it off for about 3 weeks. I mean, it's just such bullshit. It didn't help do anything. It bailed out the richest people in the world. That's all it did. All this money is just going to rich people.
Many are frustrated by the results, and rightfully so. Too often, taxpayer dollars have been spent without transparency or accountability.
Yeah, too often, like all the time. And what you gave us you sat there and told us when you voted for this stupid bill how it was going to be transparent and all this crap. So why didn't you write it into the bill? Why didn't you make sure it was in the bill? You didn't do any of that. You just said, yeah, it's there, and it wasn't there, was it? No, it wasn't.
Banks have been extended a hand, but homeowners, students, and small businesses that need loans have been left to fend on their own.
Yeah, then they will be even worse. All right? I mean, the small person, the small saver even is going to be blown up in this whole mess. You're going to give the rich people, you're going to give them the greens, you're going to give them the dollar bills, all right? So they'll have the money, and then they're going to just transfer that money. They're going to get out of the dollar as soon as they have to. As soon as the dollar starts going down, it's not going to stop this time. Because they're going to get out of the dollar. And then who's going to get stuck with the dollars? Who's going to be stuck with the useless and worthless dollar bills? That's right. The average American, the working man, is going to be stuck with that. He's going to be stuck with a salary that won't even be able to buy him a loaf of bread.
And adding to this outrage, we learned this week that even as they petitioned for taxpayer assistance, Wall Street firms shamefully paid out nearly $20 billion in bonuses for 2008.
Yeah, and so when you wrote the goddamn bill, you mean you weren't farsighted enough to think that they might do that? So why didn't you write it in the bill? I mean, why didn't you just say no? Okay, if there's any money being paid to executives, any bonus money, if anybody in the goddamn bank, anybody is getting paid over a certain amount of money, then forget it, no deal. I mean, no, you just gave the money to the richest people in the world. That's all you did. You're giving them $800 billion. Just admit what you're doing.
Well, I'm committed to doing what it takes to maintain the flow of credit. The American people will not excuse or tolerate such arrogance and greed.
Yeah, what? What are you going to do about it? Not a goddamn thing. All right, you already given the money. What? You're going to take it back somehow? I don't think it's going to happen. You're not going to get your tax cuts through your tax raising of the taxes through the Senate. You're not indestructible there, indestructible enough. So it's game over. You've screwed us thoroughly already. You're only a president for a few weeks and you've already fucked us pretty well.
The road to recovery demands that we all act responsibly, from Main Street to Washington to Wall Street.
And what does responsibly mean? Does it have anything to do with being honest? So why don't you just tell the truth? Why don't you just say it's not a credit crisis, it's a debt crisis, that we are bankrupt, period. Okay, and the solution to the bankruptcy is a liquidation. We just got to start over, okay? Start over.
Soon, my Treasury Secretary, Tim Geithner, will announce a new strategy for reviving our financial system that gets credit flowing to businesses and families.
Right, he's just going to move all this bad debt into the government coffers, all the liabilities of all the risk-taking and all the bubble economies and all the rest of this stuff. The government's just going to buy all the bad assets that are held by the richest people in the world. That's all you're going to do. You're just going to give them you're going to give them top dollar for things that are worth bottom dollar.
We'll help lower mortgage costs and extend loans to small businesses so they can create jobs.
Yeah, again, so you're a Democrat and you're using that rhetoric. Businesses create jobs? No, fucking goddamn demand creates jobs. And there isn't going to be any goddamn demand if nobody has a fucking job, you idiot. And if the only jobs there are government prepaid jobs, that's not going to work either. But somehow you have to pay for those jobs somewhere. Somewhere you have to fucking goddamn... What are you going to have? A $3 billion yearly deficit? That's not going to work, you idiot.
We'll ensure that CEOs are not draining funds that should be advancing our recovery.
Yeah, because you already gave them all the money. You'll make sure they have the whole fucking full swimming pool. So you're not going to have to drain any more funds because you gave them all the fucking money.
And we will insist on unprecedented transparency, rigorous oversight, and clear accountability.
Yeah, why don't I believe you? Yeah, why don't I believe any of that? That's what you said exactly the last time. Didn't you just say that on the floor of the Senate before you were president? You said probably those exact words came out of your stupid mouth, and that bill was so flawed.
Taxpayers know how their money is being spent and whether it is achieving results.
Oh yeah, whether it's results. Whether it's achieving what result is there? You're borrowing fucking money. We are overextended. We already borrowed too much money, and you're going to solve the problem by borrowing more money. I mean, this is pretty much the definition of doom. I mean, this is not going to do it. This isn't the kind of rhetoric. These kinds of solutions aren't solutions. This is just going to make the problem worse when we finally have to deal with the problem. When the problem finally gets right exactly in front of us instead of being a few feet away. It's only going to make the problem worse. It's only making it. It's going to just stink more. It's going to be more vicious, more impossible to deal with, because of this putting it off policy. This let's pretend, that the problem is a credit crisis when it's a debt crisis.